and welcome to my channel. Hey there and welcome to my channel, guys. Your girl is back. Hello guys. I'm so glad to be back with you and so glad to see you. And Tigger's getting caught in my jumper. Guys, it's been back a minute and it started already. Guys, I am so glad to see you. Welcome to my channel. My name is Loise. For those of you who don't know me, if it's your first time here, then very warm welcome to you. Guys, I'm so happy to be back with you guys, and I need to catch up with you. This is a bit of a chatty video, guys, because I need to catch up with my gals and guys so I can let you know what's going on. And Tigs is all about, guys, this touching thing. I don't know. I mean, I've been back a few days and it's just a constant touching and even if I just fold my hand like, yeah, all right, Tigs. Good, nice to see you too, Tigs. Yes. No. Not mind the jumper, mind the jumper. Oh my days. Yeah. This is your nail is in my jumper. Hold on. Oh my, you keep your hands to yourself. Guys, I bet you guys are glad to see her, and I am too. But guys, welcome to my channel, as I'm trying to say. And it's I stroke you. Gosh, guys, it's so nice to be back with you. Your girl is back from holiday, and I just thought I'd do a catch-up video, guys. Some things that I saw in New York, I wish I had known before I went. So this video is all about a little bit of a catch-up and things I wish that I knew before going to New York. But before we get started, guys, don't forget to click and subscribe, put on your notifications. Your girls have got a lot of different things coming up for the future. So if you want to catch up with your girl, know what's going on, subscribe. Right, guys, let me give you the tea about New York. Now, I've made some notes because there's so many things that I saw that, yeah, Tiggs, we ain't going to do this all day, you know. There's so many things that I saw, so many things that I experienced that it was just, I don't know. I had to share it with you guys. I think the one thing that really surprised me is when we first landed at JFK Airport. And when I was going to the bathroom, because obviously you want to go to the bathroom before you get on to take your transfer to your hotel. So I went to the bathroom and there was this plastic on the seat and I'm like, oh, what's that then? So then I realised that all the toilets, they have their own little plastic like cover. And then you just push your hand near it and then it changes a whole new cover. I thought, this is hygiene to the max. I love it. I mean, rather than, you kind of, from when I was a little girl, you was always taught to dangle over toilet seats. You were told not to sit on them. But the fact that they had the plastic, I mean, I still didn't sit on it, but that's not the point. The point is, guys, I'm sorry if this is too much information, but this shocked your girl because I love the level of hygiene that every time you put your hand forward, then a new toilet cover seat come out. I'm telling you. But the thing is, I didn't know how to flush the toilet. There's no flush. Because in the UK, you press a button or you put your hand near a little sensor, it flushes. You don't know where to flush it. You look around, you look at your metal, you put your hands around the wall, you kind of do this and... Then I realised, from you step away from the actual toilet bowl, it senses that you've stepped away and it flushes. There's no signs to tell you these things, but then I suppose they think everyone knows these things. So guys, if you go to the USA and you go public toilets, that's what you do. You step away, everything flushes. Yeah, Tigs. So, guys, some things I have to tell you. Now, the first thing I wrote down the weather. Guys, the UK, because I live in London, right? So if you're watching from America or any other country, just to let you know, I'm in the UK. I'm in London. And the London weather did not prepare me for the New York weather. It did not prepare me. Because we went in January, right? It did not prepare me for the weather. Now, that kind of winter holiday, although the skies are blue, guys. The skies are blue, it's bright, but it's icy cold, it's snowing, it's like a dry snow, but it's not the snow's wet, but do you know what I mean? It's like a very dry, crisp snow. But we landed when it was snowed the day before, and it was so cold it looked like it had just snowed. It was still thick on the ground, thick in the airport, everywhere. But the minus 15 degrees, oh my days. I was telling my friend about it, that, you know, it's minus 15 degrees, because a lot of my friends are asking me since I've been back, what's it been about? And I was telling my friend about it. I said to him that, you know, it's minus 15 degrees. And he was like, our fridges at work are not even that cold. They've got walk-in fridges, they're meat fridges, they're not that cold. So, yeah, that's the kind of minus degree weather we were in. I was not prepared for it. But guys, it's doable, because you know, you gotta like the cold. You know that. You know I like heat. But it's doable. If you wrap up, it's doable. And one thing I would say, guys, if you're ever going on a winter holiday anywhere, thermals work. If you get the fleece line thermals, they work. So that's the first thing I would say. The weather, your girl was not prepared. Was not prepared. So that's one thing I was shocked about for New York, the weather. The second thing I've got written down here is expensive cab fares. The yellow cabs in New York are expensive. Now, I'm not saying the black cabs in London are cheap. They're not. They're probably the more higher end expensive cars that you can hail on the road. But the yellow cabs, I mean, I don't think the black cabs in the UK are as expensive. The yellow ones are expensive. At one point we went to the theatre and I wore these little court heels. Like, weren't very high. But at the end of the theatre, we walked so many places, and I'll come on to that in a minute. We walked so many places that my feet was giving up in the cold, the ice, that it was really bad. And in the end, I said, no, I have to get a cab. Let's just get a cab. Because the thing is, it was new to us. We weren't sure how far it was back to the hotel, even though we know it was walking distance, because we were very close to Broadway. But I just couldn't. I'd get a cab. Jumped out in the middle of the road. Now, guys, it's not like the movies where you jump out in the middle of the road and, you get a cab. No, you jump out and then they knock you over. Hailing a cab is not like London. London, you just go like that and you get a cab straight away. You can literally go like that, throw yourself in the road. They're not stopping. They're not stopping. And I don't understand their signs, whether they're on or off. Because, I'm used to London. So I can see if a taxi's got a sign on, if it's for hire or not. It doesn't say it's for hire in America. There's nothing to indicate, unless you guys can tell me something different. There's nothing to indicate whether they're available or not. They just drive past and you literally have to throw yourself out in the road. And then we got a cab. We got a cab literally 3 minutes. 3 minutes drive, over $20. And half of that 3 minutes we were stuck in traffic, and then the cabman tried to go around the back of the hotel, which is, because they run in avenues, you have to kind of go around the block. Because they run in avenues, that's more money. We weren't silly. We told them, where are you going? You're going around the block to make extra money. $20 for 3 minutes ride. I think as we got in, it was $12 straight away as we got in. So yeah, I would say the cab fares are very expensive. So won't be tired. You're going a good distance. Then you just, yeah. But anyway, so expensive cab fares. So I would say, guys, make sure you're wearing your comfortable shoes. Don't get into your cab. Unless you really want a cab ride, then, just to experience it all, then yeah. Right. The next thing I would say, what I wish I'd known about New York, I've always heard that it's a walking city, but it really is a walking city. You are walking everywhere, because we stayed in Times Square. So you literally were walking everywhere, because the traffic is so heavy there that if you was to get a cab, which is expensive anyway, the cab's not even moving. It's just sitting in traffic. So you are literally walking from one place to the other, and it makes sense to walk, because if you don't walk, you're going to miss all the sights. You're going to miss all the restaurants, all the attractions. You're going to miss everything. So it is a walking city. And I'm telling you something, even if you take the subway, you are still walking miles in a day. You can clock up some serious miles. 10,000 steps in London? You do 10,000 steps in about 20 minutes over there, because it's a real walking city. You walk literally from one attraction to the next, to the next, to the next. And that's how you really get around. I must admit, I did have some buses there, and we saw the buses, and I actually preferred the bus. My friend preferred the subway, but I actually preferred the bus because the subway is a little confusing. And also with the express trains and the other type of trains, it's about knowing what's what. Then they change tracks before you even know it, and oh, it's just very confusing. But it's going to be confusing if you're not used to it, guys. So I suppose maybe to some people, or to people that come to London to visit, maybe the London trains are confusing, but I really found the subways very confusing. I prefer the buses because that way you can get to see everything, but the buses are few and far between. The buses are not like London, guys. They're not. It's in my mind, from what I saw, they're not like London. You wait a long time for buses, whereas with London, you literally hop in a bus here, there, and everywhere. There's always a bus. Literally every minute of the day, there's a bus somewhere to take you somewhere. But over there, the buses weren't like here. But then again, I'm spoiled. I'm used to London, but that's not to say I didn't like it. I loved it. I experienced it. You even can charge up your phone on the buses. You can charge your devices. Yeah, it was really, really great. So definitely a walking city. Definitely a lot of walking, guys. I'm just reading through my notes because I don't want to forget anything. So the next thing I'll move on to, it is expensive. It is expensive. And when I say expensive, I'm not saying that other places are not expensive, but it's expensive because of all the hidden charges. Like, for example, if you're going to a restaurant, there's all these hidden taxes, or there's the tips. It's almost mandatory, practically mandatory for you to tip. So when you're looking at your bill, you've got to add on this extra tax that you're not aware of. So in the UK, I suppose we're used to looking at your menu, and what you're seeing on that menu is what you're being charged. At the bottom, you might be saying something like there's going to be gratuities, or there might be some sort of tip, 10%, whatever. But over where we were, literally everything was 20%. 20% tax on there, and then there was tips on top of that. So before you knew it, and we're not even talking about a high-end restaurant, you're talking about an average meal is probably going to set you back around 30 to 40 pounds just for maybe a lunch, or just for just a straightforward snack. It's going to set you back a lot, because by the time you put all the tax on it, it does add up. So it's not, it's not enough like a deal breaker to upset your holiday or anything. But guys, I would say that especially when you're traveling to certain countries, it's best to do your homework. My friend, she researched the heck out of everything, but I just kind of was very laid back with the whole thing. But it was quite surprising that even the hotel, they have what they call like a hotel tax, that there's a certain tax you have to pay on top of your bill, on top of your stay. Or the tax, the hidden tax and the VAT, that's where you've got a lot of hidden costs. So always be careful, and always do your homework so you know exactly what you're paying. I went to Target a couple of times. This is before the Target ban, because there's a ban on Target right now. But before I went to Target, when I went to Target, I bought some creams and stuff there. And the creams that were there, they were I don't know, say that was £15. But when you got to the till, it was a total different price. So everything is not the price that it actually advertised. You've got to think about the tax element of it, and that's where you can get caught out if you're not kind of thinking, or you're thinking like it's London. London, they show you the actual price you're paying. That's not the same. Right. One thing that I was surprised about, this is not a New York surprise, this is probably me. Do not overpack when you're going to New York. Do not overpack. To be honest with you, if you watch my pack with me video, you would have seen half of the stuff I ended up leaving it because it couldn't fit in the case anyway. And then even when I got there, I was changing clothes, but because you're out all day, you're out and about, and by the time you get back to the hotel, you haven't really changed off, because unless you come back midday, but we just packed the whole days out, so we were out for the day. You don't actually need as much clothes as you think you do. So that's one thing I would say, do not overpack. And also, if you're traveling with your cases and you're not getting cars or taxis, traveling with those cases around is not the easiest, especially if you're going via subway with any of your cases, because the subway, guys, there's not always escalators in all the subways, and there's a lot of stairs. They go quite deep. So I would say just be mindful of that. But you can always get a cab if you want to, but just be mindful. Do not overpack if you don't have to. I didn't wear half of my clothes, to be honest with you. I actually came back with I probably wore 75% of my clothes, but it just goes to show I didn't need everything, because I did kind of plan my outfits to mix and match, but I didn't need everything. So do not overpack. Now, the other thing I would say, now, New York is such a busy place. There's so much to do. There's so much to see. There's so much attractions. And I would say, whatever you're doing, plan your downtime. So when I say plan your downtime, I don't mean just go sit in a hotel, because you didn't come to sit in a hotel, did you? Although sometimes I did, but I like the hotel. But you didn't come to sit in a hotel. You came to see and experience sights and get the experience. But I would say plan your downtime. So like, for example, if you was to go to Central Park, you could take a picnic with you, and you could actually have some downtime, sit in the park, you know, looking at the view, the skyline, and kind of get your downtime, get your recharge that way, by kind of, you know, stopping for a little while, sitting down, enjoying what's around you. Because New York City, from what I could see, it doesn't sleep. It does not sleep. You can be out midnight. The whole of Times Square is lit up. It's like a kind of magical lit up city that just never sleeps. Everyone's on the go. Everyone's busy. Lots of tourists everywhere. So I would say definitely plan your downtime. The next thing I would say, what I was quite surprised about, when you're going to New York, you need itinerary. There is so much to do. There are also a lot of free attractions, a lot of free places you can go, like Central Park or rooftop bars or museums. Plenty of free places, plenty of free things to do, but make sure you plan it so you know where you're going. But there's just so much attractions, so many like deck points to go to, where you can get skyline views, you can get high-rise views, you can get like even the Staten Ferry, that's free. There's lots of free things to do, but you have to plan it. And when you plan your itinerary, plan it that it makes sense, so you can move on from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. That's the way you can action pack so much into your day. Because even when it comes to like 4 or 5 o'clock, you're not going to go to sleep. You're going to keep going right into the night until you can't do anymore. Make sure you plan your itinerary. There is so much to do. We packed in a lot. And to be honest with you, now we've come back home, we're kind of reflecting. There's so much more we didn't see. There's so much more to see. You definitely need your itinerary. Know what you're doing. Don't waste time. Pack as much as you can in and get the experience and enjoy it. The last thing I would say that I would really, really enjoyed with New York. Now, it's not like the movies that where you know, New Yorkers are kind of haven't got no time to speak to you. They're kind of just rushing doing their thing. Yes, everyone's in a hurry, but I found the New Yorkers that we met to be so friendly, so enduring, have time for you. But there was a little trick to it, guys. We didn't trick people on purpose. Don't get me wrong. Once they heard your accent, there's something about the London accent. Once they heard it, all right, Gov. I wasn't walking around saying that. I wasn't. But once they heard the UK accent, and even at one point we were going to Staten Island Ferry, we got on the bus, and because I found the buses quite confusing, because the roads are in avenues. So you've got like, and it's every other road like an avenue. So maybe 73rd Avenue, 75th Avenue, and the bus might run down one avenue, but like London, where the bus runs back the other way, in New York it might run on a different avenue. So you're going to get the same bus going one way, but going back it's on a different avenue. It's unless you know it at the back of your hand, it can be very confusing. So I asked the bus driver, how do we get back to Times Square on this bus? So the guy said, oh, you have to get it over the road. And I said to him, what, over the road? Because over the road means there or there or there. So he said, you're not from here. I said, no, we're from London. You're from London? Yes, we're from London. Oh my days, he couldn't do it enough for us. He couldn't do it. The guy was too friendly. My friend was like, Lois, I'm like, it ain't like that. Ain't like that. But he couldn't do enough for us. Literally was telling us, and he was just mesmerised the fact that we were Londoners. And literally every time we opened our mouths, wherever we went, it was literally, "Are you from London?" "Yeah, we're from London." So that probably got us a lot of favour, just the accent alone. Although to us, we haven't got an accent. They've got the accent. So, and their accent was so lovely and so fascinating to hear. But they were mesmerised with our accent, and I think that's what got us a lot of favour. The minute we spoke to anybody, it was just like people were just like falling over themselves to help you. So I would say that's one thing I was really shocked about. Very nice New Yorkers. The ones we met were absolutely fabulous. So guys, those are the things that I found quite surprising about New York. One thing I would say, Londoners, a bit of a beef here. Our chocolates are nicer than yours. Yeah, I'm saying we got nicer chocolate, guys. But yeah, I had an amazing time. New York, piece of my heart was left there. I loved it. We'll definitely have to go back again one day if I'm blessed enough to do so. But it was absolutely an amazing trip. And guys, if you have been to New York and you saw any things that kind of popped out at you, or something that you thought was quite different from where you reside, put a comment down below and let me know what it is, because it's funny how we have different experiences and we see different things and we see it different ways. But I really saw so much that turned my head. It was an amazing trip. So guys, I hope you're going to click and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed talking to you guys about it, and also being my first video back with y'all. Guys, look out for more videos. We've got videos coming up on Sunday, next week Wednesday, schedule as normal, 6 o'clock. And that's when we're going to be dropping our videos. So I'm going to love you and leave you guys. Hope you enjoyed my chat about New York. And I will see you all very soon. Take care then. Bye.